Ready? Shoulder. Fire lock. Up. Wheel. Again. Fire.
Most people don't even realize there's a national park in New Jersey. Here in Jockey Hollow, this enormous green space with trees and fresh breeze and hiking trails where you can hike, and you can get history too.
Jockey Hollow is one of the most important sites in New Jersey for the American Revolution.
Washington's troops know how to build huts.
Not only because it's a national park, but because the interpretation and the landscape really gives such a sense of what people experienced in the time.
Here there were over 10,000 soldiers. They built over 1,000 log cabins. This literally was one of the biggest cities in the country at that time.
You're in the middle of nowhere. You don't have a blacksmith. You don't have a nail maker. So you have to make do, and a lot of these guys were soldiers.
So when I came to this country, I started reading about the Revolutionary War because that was the start of this country. But reading in books is definitely different than being at the site itself, where you get the patriotic sense. You actually get to see how the soldiers lived.
It was the worst winter in recorded U.S. history. Lots of snow, extremely cold temperatures. New York Harbor froze solid.
I think the most important takeaway from any visit to Jockey Hollow is an understanding that this is a story of American perseverance. We have recreational usage. We offer 27 miles of hiking trails, but we want to make sure that when people come here, they leave with a sense of its historical significance.
So this is the Wick House. It was built in the early 1750s by Henry and Mary Wick. The Wicks decided to rent rooms to Major General Arthur Sinclair of the Continental Army. So he and his two aides and probably some army servants shared the house with the Wicks for that winter.
The reenactment is a great opportunity for the public to come and experience what would have really occurred in the spring of 1780.
The whole idea of interpretation is to make it meaningful, make it alive. We do that through talks and tours, but especially at an event like this, when we have wonderful reenactors who are content specialists in their own right, we can really engage the public and help them understand what happened here and in the context of the American Revolution in New Jersey.
We don't obviously glorify war. War is a horrible thing. But what we want to really point out is the sacrifices that the men and women made to get our country and put us here on the map.
This is the best way you could possibly experience history, because in school you learn about like all the prominent figures like George Washington, the famous generals, politicians, but you don't really learn so much about like the common man that was actually the ones fighting the war and how they actually lived.
This presentation was about maybe a town that would come, and on the day that the soldiers had money, had gotten paid, and they would have their wares that they could sell to them. So they had the fruits and the vegetables and whatever.
The women, they're literally carrying everything that they had with them and traveling 40, 50 miles on foot. Come look, come
That's
see.
very, very heavy.
Very, very heavy.
Our daughter's in 5th grade and she's been learning about Revolutionary War history, and so that kind of spurred this, and I think now they're going to be very interested in it.
Company to the right about. Face! You're facing the house. The house.
Campaign for America 250 is Friends of Jockey Hollow's outreach initiative so that we can prepare in time for the semi-quincentennial next year, making sure that people have a wonderful visitor experience, that we are providing visitors with what they expect from a national park.
It's important for everyone because the 250th celebration of the United States is really about everything. Right? The entire history of our nation, all of the people who make it what it is.
These places that bring to mind the ideals that people lived and fought for 250 years ago, they really deserve our support.
We made it. We made it through. This was the winter nobody would expect that we made it, but we did.